Father Brennan presses Father Harris about an occult conspiracy. The shaken Harris gives Brennan a photograph of a baby with the name, Shanna, inscribed. Harris is killed when a falling pipe splits his head open. In Rome, 1971, amid left-wing protests, American novitiate Margaret Dano arrives at the Vizzardelli orphanage. She meets with Cardinal Lawrence, Father Gabriel, and Aba's sister Silva, her roommate and fellow novitiate Luz, and nun Angelica. Luz invites Margaret to a disco, where Margaret dances with a man named Paolo before blacking out. She awakens the next day with no memory of what happened. Margaret bonds with the mistreated orphan Carlita, who is plagued by bad visions. Father Brennan warns her about Carlita, saying, evil things will happen around her. Margaret spots Carlita showing Angelica a drawing of a pregnant woman being restrained. Moments later Angelica self-immolates and hangs herself. Brennan explains that radicals within the church, desperate to regain power against the rise of secularism, seek to bring about the Antichrist to create fear and drive people back to the church, with Carlita intended to be his mother. During a field trip, a riot breaks out and Margaret experiences demonic hallucinations. Sister Silva postpones Margaret's vows and orders her to distance herself from Carlita. She spots Paolo, horrified. He tells her to look for the mark before an oncoming truck fatally impales him. Margaret sneaks into Sister Silva's office. She uncovers a hidden, underground chamber and a series of subject files, all labeled Shanna. Each file contains a photo of a disfigured baby with a birthmark in the shape of 3 sixes, with Carlita as seemingly the only survivor. She is intercepted and spots the mark on Carlita's palate before being imprisoned. Father Gabriel frees Margaret. As they examine the files, they discover that another baby had survived. Margaret locates the mark on her own scalp and suddenly remembers that she was forcefully impregnated in a satanic ritual the night she blacked out at the disco. The devil will need to mate with his own spawn in order to conceive the Antichrist, and Margaret had been brought to Rome as Carlita is too young. The group drives off to have the pregnancy aborted, but another car crashes into theirs on the way and Margaret's womb suddenly fills. She awakens strapped to a hospital bed and is greeted by Cardinal Lawrence, the head of the conspiracy. She gives birth to 2 children, a girl and a boy. The latter is hailed as the Antichrist. She stabs Lawrence but cannot bring herself to kill her son. Luz stabs Margaret as the conspirators flee with the boy and set the chamber ablaze to cover their tracks. Carlita saves Margaret and her daughter, and Margaret sees her assaulter, a demonic jackal, in the flames. The baby boy is given to American diplomat Robert Thorne to secretly replace the child his wife Catherine has supposedly miscarried. Years later, Margaret lives secluded in the mountains with Carlita and her daughter, now a happy family. Brennan appears and warns that the conspirators will be hunting her, and that her son has been named Damien.